Yes, so welcome back, Connect family. You are watching the Connect Network TV right here on the CW. We are super excited for our next guest. It is time for our influencer of the week, y'all.
My favorite. I'm excited. That is right, Terry. She is glamming the faces of some of the biggest names in Hollywood, y'all. But when she's not helping, right, to heat up the red carpet, you can catch her backstage of the Today Show, getting their television guests beautified. So we can't wait to get the tea on the top trends, best products, and her journey to the top. Y'all join me in welcoming the beautiful Camara Aunique Helps to the show. Come on, girl. We are so excited to have you. Hello.
Thank you. So honored to be here. Thank you so much for having me, you guys.
Of course, we would not have it any other way. I'd first like to start off by saying congratulations. Your Instagram page is so impressive, from Angela Bassett to even Pauletta Washington, Denzel's wife. You have Hollywood on lock. So let's talk about your career as a makeup artist. How did it get started? What's going on?
So I started my career 14 years ago. 14 years ago, working in retail and working at Macy's in Herald Square, and basically asking the girls at MAC if they wanted to teach me because I was so intrigued and saw how amazing they were, but no one wanted to teach me. And so I basically taught myself. I was told that I was not good at makeup. I had friends that would say, you should stick to doing jewelry. I was a jewelry designer at that time too. And they were like, you should stick to just doing that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to become one of the best at it. And basically started to really push myself when there wasn't any Instagram, learning how to do beauty, learning how to do makeup and how to do skincare and how to service clients and customers. And then started working with celebrities. And that's been for the past 10 years now. I've been a celebrity makeup artist. And it's been a journey. It's been a journey.
That's so beautiful.
And I love how you were like, this journey started 14 years ago. People need to hear that, because we always say, as we're encouraging our audience, don't compare your year 1, 2, or 3 to someone else's year 14, because you done paid some dues. And you spoke life and death out of your mouth. You said, I am going to be the best and teach myself. And so I love it. So was it intentional for you to work specifically with top celebs and in television?
So here's the thing. I honestly, when I first started, it was more to prove a point. It was to prove to people that told me I was bad that I was going to become one of the best. But then I found God.
Come on, but talk about it. Listen, you said
and when I found God, that's when I started to realize that it was more than just makeup. That it was more than, and that's my trademark also, more than just makeup. That it was more of an experience that I was called to give women and to make them feel. Even the men that I service, I work with Terry Crews, I work with Little Rel Howery, Quincy, so many men that I've serviced in the industry too. But just to help them feel safe, help them feel comfortable, help them feel seen, help them feel heard. I think one of the biggest things that I hear a lot when it comes to when I'm working with a client is that the last artist that they worked with did not help them feel seen and heard. And women want to feel seen and heard. They want to feel like it's a partnership rather than a dictatorship, right? And so throughout the years, I had to learn that, yes, I am good at what I do. It's growing. I'm getting all these amazing clients. Of course, yes, I could text Miss Pauletta and, and I still jump when Angela Bassett texts me. Yes. But I also have to remind myself too, that this is a service thing, right? Why is God sending me there? What is the reason why I'm going to be with them at this moment? Because when I look at myself as doing makeup, I look at it as I'm laying hands, right? Who am I laying hands on? Who am I touching? That's why even for you guys, as hosts, and who is touching you, who is laying hands on you, you want to be very intentional about those things and knowing those things. And so that was a process that I had to learn throughout this 14 years. And it's been really hard because, because it's never been done before. It's never been spoken about before, but it's something that God has called me to do.
Love it.
Wow. That is so beautiful. And that just gave me chills what you said, who is laying hands on you, because it's so important. There is a real energy exchange that happens with makeup, with hair service, even just who you are eating lunch with. So I think it's so beautiful that you take so much pride in what you're doing. And, you're living the dream, right? I know it's a dream of so many makeup artists to work with celebrities. So I'd love to know, what advice do you have for other artists who are hoping to get into that celebrity niche?
the biggest advice I have is ask God to help you steward who's already in your chair correctly. Don't run to wanting to pray for, because I remember I used to pray like, God, I want to work with this person, and then I get that person and they're a whole demon, right? Like, and they come to hinder. Because the spirit, the person comes and they come to hinder what God is calling you to do, right? And so what I always, especially with my students, I do have a where I'm teaching and training artists now how to do beauty and business with God. And so the process that I tell them is to ask God, don't be like the prodigal, right? Where you get the inheritance and you don't know how to use it. The people that's currently in front of you at this moment, right? The people that you are currently called to, the everyday women, how are you going to steward these women? How are you going to steward God's daughters and his sons, right? How are you stewarding them now so that when you do get the bigger clients, you'll know how to steward it. You'll know how to read the room, which is an art. Not many people know how to read the room. Not many people know how to not take it personal. When not many people know how to not make the makeup about them, but make it about the client. So one of the things I always tell my clients is, this is our first time working together, or maybe it's our second or third or fourth. But remember, I want to make sure that you feel good, you feel safe, and you feel ready to conquer whatever it is that you're called to do. If there is something that you do not like and that you do not want to see, or if you want me to take it down a bit, I am 100% okay with doing that for you. It's not about me, it's about you. And when I tell you, their walls drop when they hear that, because they finally can feel safe. And so I think it's like one of the things I teach people is always make sure that you are removing yourself, asking God, let them see you before they see me. This is a serving thing. You have to have a servant's heart. Yes, we are the talent. Yes, we are getting the recognition. We're getting called. We're getting amazing interviews like this. But at first, before all of that, we are here to serve. And so if you don't have a servant's heart, then don't do it. But if you want to actually learn what it means to have a servant's heart, that's going to make you actually a better leader in your future for the things that God is calling you to do.
Come on.
That is so good. Yeah. And it actually brought me back to, I don't know if you saw the debate on social where this nail technician was called by Cardi B to do her nails. And she said no, because she had existing clients that she had committed to serve. And she didn't want to kick them to the curb just because a celebrity contacted her once. And she actually went on social media and she defended her decision, because she said, look, these people have been loyal to me. They have been helping me. And I am more than happy to serve Cardi B when the time is right. But right now, these are the people I'm serving. And so many people respected her for that decision. And I know it could be hard sometimes to know who to put first, but she said, listen, I'm going to put my loyal customers first, and then I will serve Cardi B when the time is right. So I love what you said. And I want people to know before you go, like, you are not just doing the makeup, you are also creating or have created your own beauty line, Camara Aunique Beauty, which is super amazing. I want to know, how did you come to create this award-winning faith-based product line? Tell us a little bit about it, because I want to know.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate this. Being the pioneer of it is not a
pioneer. Go ahead.
Yeah, but, I have to be honest. It is. I was called to pioneer this I started in 2017, before talking about God became a trend, when it was not normal, when it was, at first my line was named after my clients. And when I put both feet in with God, this is right before the pandemic, I basically, I felt that something was shifting in the atmosphere. I felt like something was different. And I was like, okay, God, I need to shift. And with shifting, I'm going to change the names to the women in the Bible, because this is what speaks to who I am. Like, I want people to know how dope these women are, because I think we look at other brands and they're honoring all types of things that I don't believe in anymore. I don't believe in these like this anymore, but I believe in this story. And starting the lash line was something that God said, I need you to do it. And he created a plan and a way for me to do it. It became an award when we won the Essence Best in Black Beauty Award for Best Lashes, because the product is good. Like, yes, the anchor of the product is, of course, all things good, but the product actually is a good product. You could get up to 25 wears with proper care. I have like a little set here that I was like doing some content.
Yes.
This is the Angel Eye Kit set, but you get up to 25 wears with proper care. And the strength eyeliner / glue is also it's a gel eyeliner that you can draw a cat eye with and have fun with, but it also allows your lashes to stay on all day. So I would use this especially for brides, because when you're crying and you're feeling away, you want to make sure your lashes are coming up, right? So it was very intentional creating the brand. And I just posted this today because somebody sent me a message and was like, wow, this message on this was so intentional. And I was like, not many people actually read the messages that I put on the box, because each message is a dedication to the person that's purchasing it. So this one has a Prophetess Anna is a limited edition lash that's in here. And this one is for a woman that basically, I wrote this dedicated limited edition box is to the women who are daily clothed in strength of the Lord. Women who may appear to be experiencing setbacks, but the joy of their Lord is the strength. No matter what your age, your marital status, or your financial status, you are happy to be a servant and a vessel of God's, right? And just understanding what it means that no matter what is coming against you, no matter what is trying to block you, no matter what is trying to hinder you, you're always going to find your joy in God, because that's the main thing. Because if you don't find your joy in that, whatever it is, the promises that's going to come, it's not going to make you feel fulfilled, right? You need to get that fulfillment first. So this book, this lash line is helping women see their beauty in a different way, helping women see their beauty through the eyes of God, so that it walks you through that process of not trying to paint a picture of what you think you should look like, but actually falling in love with what you actually do look like.
You better listen. I just received everything you said today, and I'm grateful that you're so open about your spiritual walk. And even earlier when you were talking about reading the room, that is discernment. Listen, increase our discernment, because we need it for personal, business, everything. I just love everything you're doing. And I have a wealth building ministry where I help people personal business credit leverage for to break generational cycles of poverty. We're called wealth warriors, right? That proverb, a good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children. And the reason why I love what you're doing with your brand is because when you're launching, it can be scary to kind of say all those things because it's not necessarily popular. People are like, don't mix money and faith. Don't mix makeup and faith. And when you're like, listen, I'm doing it not because of me. Come on, somebody. So I actually want to explore that a little bit further for our audience. You have the Makeup Academy, right? And it's kind of teaching makeup artists how to do beauty with faith, which you just talked about. So, and that's in a lot of your branding, a lot of your messaging. So tell me, why was that really important for you to make that connection? Because I think it's so, I think it's powerful, honestly.
Thank you. I think one of the things is because I know how it is to do business without God. Because when I found God, and here's a tea. I was successful. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, it's hard. I actually
that's good.
Was walking through things, but I can't lie that when I look back at the success that I had then compared to where I'm at now, I am more level-headed. I am more clear. I am more confident in who I am as a woman, and more confident in who I'm called to, and more confident to be in the room with amazing, successful women and still stand on my own. I think the woman that was then growing up back then did not have that, right? She didn't understand what it felt like to actually read the room, to network in a room full of amazing people, and always crouch down to kind of play small to make other people feel comfortable. One of the things that I teach the artists is how to make God your business partner, kind of like looking at him as a CEO. Yes, we're going to look at him as father. We're going to look at him as daddy, as the provider, but I also want to look at him as my partner, right? Someone that I can partner with, someone that I can come to and say, God, I know I messed up on this, on these finances, right? Help me get a budget, and asking him and praying and asking God and waiting for the answer to know how do I steward this correctly. I think of the story of the prodigal son a lot, because that kind of is my story. I asked for this success. I asked for these things and I did not know how to steward it. And God had to humble me. He took everything away from me. The last 3 years, I went through my wilderness. I was in LA living, and people thought I was living a fancy life when I was actually moving 5 times in under 2 years, going through pure hell. But that was my pruning season. That was a season that I had to settle into, to understand, to know who I was and what I was growing into, and the things that I picked up along the way what things could come and what could not come. And I think it's teaching those artists the many things that I've learned, the setbacks that I've learned, even how to service the celebrity clients. Because one of the things a lot of people do, especially people of God, which I think that needs to stop, is because you're prophetic, because you feel called to this, you want to be put in that room so you could immediately lay hands on a Kanye or this person or that person. But you have to really walk through the process with the Lord in a way that you build the trust with the person. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that have asked me to pray for them, and I will never share it. It's not something for me to share. It's not something for me to broadcast, but it's something that is purposeful in what God has called me to do, And so I think it's me just teaching them that I know what it's like to do it without God, but I also know what it feels like to do it with him. And I know the clarity and I know the peace, but I also know the confidence that comes with this boldness that you see came with a price. And it came with a price. And I had a young lady, I spoke at a conference the other day, because the Lord is allowing me to start speaking now. And I'm so grateful for it. And I think I'm doing it in a more humble way now where I'm like, God, I don't really want to, but okay, But I had a young lady say, how could I be like this? You just like inspire. How could you talk about God like this and just be so upfront and not make it religious, but make it something that's exciting and enticing and something that I want to know more about. And I was like, you got to pay the price. You got to pay the price. I went through the fire. I know what it feels like to have the blue check before you pay for it. Like, I know what it feels like to be at this certain level. You're hanging out with all these people. And then all of a sudden the rug gets pulled out from underneath you. And you're like, yo, who am I? Who am I? And I had to learn that I made my entire identity on my title and not about who I truly was called to be. My name is Camara Helps. And I made my identity on celebrity makeup. Celebrity makeup artist. That was my identity. And when it was taken from me when I was in LA, because yes, I was still successful. Yes, I was still working in LA. Things was going, but the identity that couldn't come with me into this new place that I'm at right now is not celebrity makeup artist Camara Aunique and this person that touched the Angela Bassett. No, this is Camara the prophet. I could say that out loud with
you better go ahead.
Camara the servant, the daughter of God, who loves to service his children, who loves people, who loves to help artists, who, because the story that was written about me was that I was jealous of other artists or, competing, because that's one of the things that's happening in this, especially in Black beauty. We're competing against each other. Everybody's against, and no one is helping each. And I want to change that narrative. I want to change the game. I want to change what is being spoken about Black artists, that no, it's more than just makeup. What are you called to do? What is your one thing that God has called you to do, and walk in the fullness of that? Oh, I feel the Holy Spirit. I'm sorry.
You better listen. You better go ahead. I will throw
I feel it too.
I'm sweating.
Oh, I just absolutely love it.
That was a word, a very, very, very big word.
And
yes,
real quick, one thing you said that was so powerful, I hope nobody missed it. Like, don't envy my anointing without wanting the proving season. Don't want the results without going through the valley. Like, there was a price for this. So don't ever comment what somebody else has when you don't want the afflictions. You better, child. All right, hold on. Hold my comment.
It's true, though. I think it is true. I think that, so many people see your successes. They see the things, Ellie, they see what you've been through. They see like where you're at now, but they don't understand what you was left with nothing. No, knowing your story. I'm like you.
Yes.
You built yourself. You had to build yourself up. You took what? I remember you took like the COVID stimulus check. You know what I'm saying? You took that check and you literally flipped it and reversed it, but nobody knows the pain that was in that process. Process. And I think so many of us want to skip the process. And I'm not going to sit here and lie to y'all. I wanted to skip the process. I was like, who wants to do this? This is whack. Like, get somebody else to do it, God, not me. But when I look back at the process, I'm like, man, that refining was it was hard. It was twisting, gut wrenching. It was like literally mirror work, looking in the mirror and seeing things about myself that I thought was cute, that it wasn't. It wasn't nice. I wasn't, I wasn't as nice as I thought I was. I wasn't as serving as I thought I could. I wasn't intentional about my business as I should have been. And it's basically holding myself accountable. And I think that is what we need to hear more when it comes to the business and comes to success, is What are you not holding yourself accountable about? What do you need to grow up on? Grow up. It's time to grow up, baby girls. It's time to be like, it's time to be accountable for where you are, what you're called to do.
Yes, I love all of this. I really need to hear more from you. And a little birdie told me you have a book called Love Letters to My Daughters, and it's on sale right now. Tell us a little bit more about this 52-week devotional that I might be reading right now, which helps women hear God's voice.
I mean,
What?
that book.
Wow.
That's another thing that actually I went through the fire for. So when I first started writing getting love letters from the Lord prophetically, I would journal. And in the time of journaling, I would stop and I would just sit silent. And I would just write what I'm hearing, not realizing a lot of the times I was writing what was scripture, and just God encouraging me, through being single, wanting to tag my husband where he at though. If y'all know somebody, tag him, going through the process of finding out what it means to be prophetic and what it means, what am I being called to when it comes to the beauty industry, finding out all these things, just writing it down. And when I went through a lot of my wilderness season in this during the 2021, God said, you're going to turn this into a devotional. This is love letters that I not only wanted to share with you, but my daughters need to hear this. And when I tell you, the book is not even where it's supposed to be. I'm actually about to kind of take it off and redo it and get it back and relaunch it, because the amount I lost $10,000. I'm going to be honest with y'all, from different people that tried to that it was just so much warfare I experienced for this book. So I know that this book is going to change lives, and I know it already has, because I'm seeing it's on Amazon, and I'm seeing the different comments and people saying how it's been helping them through it. But it's basically a 52-week devotional that basically helps you learn how to hear God's voice for yourself, so you don't look at me as savior, because I'm not, and that you always know how to reach out to him. So it's basically going on walks with God, going on a walk with the Lord, to going on dates with God, taking yourself out to eat. The other day I went out to Tavern on the Green, and the young lady said to me, what made you come out to eat by yourself? And I said, I'm never by myself. God is always with me. And he, he's sitting there. You want to give him a cup of water?
That's right. Listen.
And I take my journal with me, or I will take a book with me. And I have learned how to really enjoy my single life, really enjoy my company, to a point where I'm like, you're going to have to send the husband, because I'm enjoying this a little too much. But I'm also learning how to steward my relationships and my friendships correctly. I'm also learning how to steward my relationship with myself correctly because of this book, right? Walking myself to go to the gym, things that I don't like to do. I don't want to go to the gym, but I realized that I was doing performance to see if just to show that I'm going to the gym. Now I'm actually not performing. Now I'm actually doing it for me. So this book is basically helping you to let go of the performance and really understand what it means to be a true daughter of God, to walk in the office of a daughter. Because I don't think many people know what that means, because they think of it as they think of their parents, they think of their father that probably, did some things that wasn't that nice, or their mother that wasn't that nice to them. I came from a broken home. My father was not in my life, so understanding and seeing God as a father was something I had to be taught by God, right? I had to walk through that process, and it wasn't easy. But when I finally got to learn it, it helped me a lot with this book.
Okay, so we need to make sure that everybody watching is connecting with you for everything that you have. So please let us know, how can they find you? How can we support you? Where can they follow you?
So you can follow me at Camara Aunique and Camara Aunique Beauty on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, even on YouTube, and my websites are my name, Camara Aunique, and Camara Aunique Beauty for the lash line also.
Yes, that's all we have time for today, folks. Thanks for being with us. I know we'll be seeing you soon. And don't move, DMV. Up next is the one and only celebrity stylist, Ty Hunter. He is breaking down the behind the scenes of this month's VMAs. After the break.